Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, tonight's poll. Who is adding a crypto derivatives platform into the mix? BlackRock, Fidelity, Coinbase, or other? That's how we're starting off tonight. We're also going to talk about, we're seeing numbers today that we haven't seen since like January, February timeframe. Bitcoin is at 103,186. Wow. And I was ready to pull the trigger to sell. Sell. So I won't be selling anytime soon. I'm waiting to see if we level off. If we level off, I'm going to be forced to take some profit. I'm definitely going to be forced to take some profit because it's not profit until you realize it. It's not a loss until you realize it. I want to realize some profit. So that's what I'm looking at right now. It's kind of crazy when you stop and you think about what's going on. What else is there? This morning, if you were paying attention, I apologized to somebody and I thanked them. Imagine Captain Banana in his house. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. What else do we have? Standard Chartered. They actually said that they expected 120,000 in Q2 2025 for Bitcoin. They're stepping back from that number. They're pulling back from that number. And Paula, thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. Yes! Captain Banana, thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. So, you're tired? Is it from making all that money because Bitcoin is up? Asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. You know, I'm looking for a sugar mama. Just joking. So yeah, when you look at Bitcoin right now, I'm kind of like, yeah, Bitcoin's up. That's great. It's pulling other things up. There's a lot of positive news for a lot of other coins that are out there. So gotta pay attention to that. Good news, like SEI Labs proposed SIP3 to transition the Psi blockchain. Psi or Say, I think it's Psi. Maybe Say. They're transitioning their blockchain from Cosmos to an EVM only network. Ethereum. Yeah. And I don't know if you missed this, but World Liberty actually had purchased some SEI a couple of weeks ago. I reported on that. That's kind of a big deal. If you're watching somebody and they're doing something, you can see what they're doing and they're getting it out there in the news. Just saying. I don't do copycat trading, but they kind of foretold what they were doing. They might have been in on some information or might not have. Maybe they just believe in it. But SEI is popping because of it. And I think it also proves that Ethereum has a lot more life than people were giving credit to it. We have the Pectra upgrade that went in yesterday that is being received ridiculously well. So there's a lot. Rick Ritchie invested in himself. Just saying, what's up, bruh? And I made an apology to Lex Luthor on BB feed for last night's discussion. So did I. I did it live. I did it live this morning. But there is a slight difference between the two bills. And I'm wondering if that's why Katie Hobbs didn't sign the first one. I think she might have, vetoed the first one because it was taking new money, like new public money. And the second bill is kind of like, no, we're not taking new public money. We're taking unclaimed or seized assets and putting it in there. But they're keeping it as is. So think about that. So if they reach out for you for 3 years and they get no response, they claim those funds as they are. So like if it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, they keep it as it is, but they do stake it to make money off the staking. Now, the question is, if I show up and I want what's mine, do you give me what's mine? Because when you're looking at, it's not the how do I say this? It's not the dollar value that they should be returning. It's the amount of coin they should be returning. No, yo, I don't know what IIIMS is. You're gonna have to educate me, bruh. Thanks for your apologies, but that was totally no. You know how I roll, man. You know how I roll. If I see that I'm wrong about something, yo, I'm gonna say that I'm wrong. I'm absolutely gonna say that I'm wrong, right? On Arizona, you're correct. I don't know that you're correct on Texas though. Don't know that you're on that one. So what else is there? You guys. Yeah, I got you sweating a little bit last night. What's crazy is that the news got buried or just wasn't it straight up just wasn't reported. Some reporters, a couple of reporters out there, at least two, right, from the two sources, were up on it. What they were saying was, well, hold on a minute. We're paying attention to the actual bills that are coming through. That bill was vetoed, but this one was not. But I'm dying to know that if I come back after 3 years and I say, oh, that's my money, do you give me back my money? Meaning, let's suppose I had $100 in Bitcoin. Do you give me back the $100 in Bitcoin, or do you give me the amount of Bitcoin, which what it should be, right? Because the same way that it was $100, it could be $10, right? So you should be giving me back the amount of Bitcoin that I have or had if I come forward and claim it. So that's something to think about. So I do recognize the difference between the two bills. And that to me is kind of a big deal, right? That's a major differentiation. The Texas one, I got to look up because I haven't seen anything come across. 3 days ago, similar scenario, I shared some news and it turned out to have been falsely interpreted by some outlets. Well, I got to tell you, we were talking about this a while ago, and Aloha 8 pause. Thank you for letting me know. Or you will be. That's still good. Now, I reported not even a while ago, just like a couple of weeks ago. We've had examples for the past few weeks where you have a reputable resource, but the person that works for the resource got something wrong, right? I came across an article and it was absolutely wrong. I mean, like, just wrong. And so you have that pop up and you wonder, well, has that person written other articles? Maybe I should go explore other articles, but something like that. It was so wrong that I was like, I don't care if you've written other articles. That one was just, wow. That put a huge question mark. So it's the resource, it's the writer, it's the reporter. Like, you got to go dig, and it's work. It's work. And if you want to invest in yourself, you're going to have to dig. It was about the Fed doing QE, which it wasn't, even though some sources made those claims. They were just repositioning some debt. However, what I was reading, what I had read from an economist was, yeah, that repositioning of debt is kind of setting the stage. So it's not that they're implementing QE now or quantitative easing. I have food on the mind. Quantitative easing on the mind right now, but positioning for that could be something. So that's a big deal. Just a whole bunch of news accounts specializing on crypto on the X platform. Yes, but I don't trust X. I don't trust the platform because it's so easy to get broken into. So I try to find those same sources somewhere else. Like, do they have a website? Let me go there. You know what I mean? Because so many accounts have been hacked like 50 billion times. I'm kind of like, So whenever somebody points me to X, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Nothing special, but I can make a list. That would be greatly appreciated. So you might have heard I will tap into Fox Business. Like, I don't care where the news is coming from. I'm going to tap in because why? Because I don't want to get my news via echo chambers. I do not want to get my news via echo chambers. You want to know the biggest problem that one of the biggest problems that I have with CNBC is you got Joe Kiernan, who can be faced with actual facts and still say, I don't know. I don't know about that. What about this? And he does that classic, let me change the topic so I can point at you. And it's like, no, dude, stay on topic. And so that's something that I don't like about CNBC. So I tend to listen to everybody to see what's going on. That to me is a big deal. Yo, what up, AC Power? Today you're working on your node. Nice. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not part of the gang? Don't get it. Yeah, put it in the feed. What do you mean? Oh, you're not a big bagger? Oh man, you need to be a big bagger, bro. You need to be a big bagger. That's what you need. That's what you need. I even like how Rick Ritchie said it. I want to take the time to apologize to Lex Luthor for the Arizona bill last night. I see that today's news that he was telling the truth. Us big baggers, we don't think that we know everything. As a matter of fact, we depend on each other to check each other. That's the deal. Yo, dude, your sources are wrong. Dude, I just verified that. Go check again. Like, we check each other. That's when you know you have a strong community. That really is when you know you have a strong community, when you can actually look at each other and be like, hey, I found something out. Go look at this. That's what's up. And we're not just checking each other, but we're sharing. Sharing. That's how that happens. So, I'm not moving on. I'm going to stay on this topic. It's my show. Get your own show. I have my show. I can do what I want. I'm going to stay on your name all night now. No, I'm just joking. Just joking. OpenSea token airdrop debate intensifies over whether a reward whether to reward past fee payers or current OS2 users as SEC ends its investigation with no action. Tongue twister. But yeah, they're wondering how do we handle that? Core Scientific Q1 revenue dropped 55.7% post halving to 79.5 million, but net income surged 175.6% to 580.7 million due to non-cash gains. Firm targets 360 million co-location revenue by 2026. Shocker. Nothing wrong with Core Scientific. I'm just saying Core Scientific is doing its thing. They're trying to do the turnaround, and it seems to be working. Just saying. Now, something that I heard, Bank of America came out and they said investors pulled about $8.9 billion from U.S. equities in late April amid tariff fears, shifting to European and Japanese stocks, crypto, and high-yield bonds. Gold and treasuries also saw outflows. Not much, but they did see outflows. Treasuries saw big outflows. Gold, not so much. A little bit. Right? Exactly. So it's all about getting out of the rigged game, right? We know who it's rigged for, and now we just wanted a slightly more open game. That really is it. Let's see. The SEC is considering conditional exemption for tokenized securities trading to ease registration burdens while maintaining investor protection through oversight and transparency. Now, I don't know that I like that. I don't know that I like that. I know it sounds crazy that I would say something like that, but here's why. It leaves it open to interpretation, right? So right now, this is how we feel. You see where that's going? You see what that right now, this is how we feel, but the wind is blowing down today, so we don't feel like that anymore. I would like something codified. I would like something in there. All bars sold out at Costco. They had to put limits in. Shocker. Shocker. I know a lot of people that are pulling profits, like right now, pulling profits and saying, yeah, I'm going into gold. But I'm kind of like, where are you pulling profits from? So when I looked over my portfolio, you know the deal. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, right? That's the GMB 3. So I was looking over my portfolio because I rebalance every now and then. I rebalance because I have a feeling about a certain coin, so I want to change the percentage of that coin versus the rest of my portfolio. And I'm looking over my portfolio and I was like, yeah, I've got to figure out. I mean, I kind of knew what I was willing to get rid of. But then there were a couple of coins in there that I was kind of like, I don't know if I should get rid of that one. I think I should hold on to it. Pepe was one of them. Pepe was one of them. And over the past 2 days, it's been up 22%. Go figure, right? So yeah, I mean, it's not that I make a decision and that's it. That's not what I do. It's not that I make a decision and that's the final decision and that's, we're all done with that. That's not what I do. I look at my portfolio a lot as I'm reviewing the market to see, does anything need to be adjusted? And I give myself a report every day. I look at my charts every day, my personal charts every day. Why? Because should I be adjusting that? You know, when you learn how to do your own research, when you take that course, I tell you there are 4 possible news drops for something that's going to be big. And do I, understanding the rhythm of the coin, do I drop money into the coin after this announcement, or after that announcement? Depending on the coin, depending on the rhythm of the coin, depending on other macro events, that's how I start to juggle. Like I try to make my numbers, right, easy to get to. And then I use those numbers against the news that's out there so I can move quicker. Like I break everything down into a process and make my process work for me. Bloomberg filing an S1 for Microsoft tokenized stock. So Bloomberg? That's crazy. Bloomberg. Like that's weird. That's weird. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Like to understand the play, like that Bloomberg's not that kind of company. So Bloomberg though? What would be the advantage of a tokenized stock apart from whoever is selling it doubling their money and making profit out of thin air? You actually control the stock and you can also make it easier to fractionalize that stock. That's why I said I would need to look into that to see like what's the end game there. A lot of tokenization is to make it easier to transfer stocks and things like that. So let me ask you, all right, look at it like this. If I tokenize stocks, if everybody is out there tokenizing stocks, where do you normally buy your stocks? Because what they're saying is I'm going to send you this coin, right? Just pretend it's a coin. It's a coaster. Just pretend. Just work with me here. I don't have props, okay? But I'm going to send you this token, and attached to that token is a stock, the actual stock. You have it. This is yours. How do you buy stocks now? Oh, I have to go to Thinkorswim or E-Trade or Ninja Trader or one of these other traders, Charles Schwab, one of these trading platforms, Robinhood, to acquire stock. If everybody runs around and tokenizes stock, See where I'm going? Uh-huh. So how does that work? Right? I go buy this tokenized asset. I actually own the asset. It's mine. How do I trade the asset? Well, with other people that are trading the asset. So what am I doing? I'm turning that asset into like crypto. Like, how is it going to work? Can I only that particular tokenized asset? Is it I can only sell the solid one, right? A whole stock, or can I fractionalize it? How is this one working? Which is what the question would be. Wow. So the use cases are huge. The use cases are huge because, you know, there are a lot of stock markets that don't do fractionalized stocks. They don't do 24/7 trading. Oh, yeah, that could be a big deal. To tokenize a stock could be represented as a digital token on a blockchain to bring a different audience and investors. Yes, but I can sell it. I can take my tokenized asset and be like, yo, Rick, I know you're into this, bro. And I happen to have one. You want it? What's up? Cut yourself a deal. Boom, done. Yeah. Then if a stock is paying dividends based on the date of, or based on the wallet address that has that stock at that moment, that wallet gets the dividend. Go figure. I mean, it's nuts. Yo, D Mac into his house. Everyone will get into tokenizing stocks and other things of value. Yes. The thing that I see besides stocks, I think the biggest thing that we're going to see, real estate, automobiles, big ticket items, I think is what you're going to see. I think the title industry, because of real estate, I think the title industry takes it on the chin hard. Because think about it. I go do the title search and everything else. Once it hits the blockchain, so this title works, everything on there is proper, it hits the blockchain, I never have to check the title again. I never have to check the title again. Aha. Right? You start to think about how does that happen? How does that work? You don't really have to think about how it works. It works. So in terms of tokenization, yeah, you're going to see a lot of things of value hit the blockchain or a blockchain. Now, I told you Robinhood this morning is thinking about tokenizing a whole bunch of crap, and they're looking at Solana and Arbitrum. Arbitrum. Help me out here. Arbitrum. And then Solana. That, I choked on that one. I'm still choking on that one. I don't understand how. So now stocks in your portfolio are like fiat IOUs. When the stock is tokenized, you own a physical part of a company because you don't actually get your stuff. Back in the day, you actually got a stock certificate. Nobody does that now. Some custodian holds your stock. You use, Robinhood to buy and sell stocks. They're that's what they're doing. But now what you're saying is I can get my hands on this stock. It's an official stock. It's tokenized. It's mine. I can buy 100 of these. I can buy this, that, the other thing. That's a big deal. Yeah, the no-see-ums are out now. If you've ever been camping, you know what a no-see-um is. Yo, what up, Hutanic? You invested in yourself. That's what I'm talking about. But you see how that works? DMAC, I remember taking my stock certificate to a broker to sell for me. Yep. And then that broker takes a fee. You see how that's working? Yeah, I'll sell that for you for a fee. How much is the fee? A lot. Well, how much? It depends on how much we can get it for. Depends. So How we buy and trade stocks is going to be different. It's going to be different. We're in for some wild some wild freaking times, for real. Changing, Rick Ritchie, we need a bigger word than changing. You know what I mean? Like, we need a bigger word than changing. I mean, we're who was it that said it? I forgot who said it, but they were saying that, basically we're about to hit a Chat GPT moment. And we are. The tokenization of stocks is the first Chat GPT moment for that space. And then you start to realize, well, damn, not just stocks. Not just stocks. Collectibles, all this stuff. You just look at it and you go, damn, that's holy moly. Now here's something that's interesting. Home insurance. Hear me out. Just let me go off on my tirade and you can judge me later. Home insurance. You have to itemize every item in your house. You can give a lump sum, but you're better off itemizing everything of value in your house. Now, you collect watches. You collect pens. You've got some computers that degrade over time, but right now they're worth a certain amount. You've got cars. You've got a whole bunch of stuff. But we're talking about inside the house. You have a whole bunch of stuff that's in your house. You might have artwork. So you can itemize everything in your house for the insurance company. See where that's going? You're about to see an upheaval, not a disruption, an upheaval in how business is done for certain industries. It's going to be insane. So if you're caught holding a piece of something and you don't actually hold the digital ID for it, oh, that's stolen, isn't it? Or it's counterfeit or something. Like you'd have to, like, so how does that happen? You're talking about you're truly talking about an upheaval in everything that's going on right now. Stocks are hypothecated. Sorry, I must be late to the convo. That's all right. Not sure about that. It will be a slow process, but that sounds like an upgrade 2.0 to the TradeFi. No, I think it is a complete metamorphosis with TradeFi, traditional finance, crypto finance, fintech is a part of the old world. All of it. It's what we're changing into now. We don't know what the end game will actually wind up being. Let that wash over you for a minute. Imagine just how all of that works. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be not a mess, but it's going to be crazy. It will absolutely be crazy. There will be volatility through the nose with all of these technologies. What? A new way of doing everything. So that means all these AI bots that are out there analyzing things are going to have to analyze things in a totally different kind of way. DMAC, yes, we're going to be the new billionaires. Go. I wish. But yeah, we're looking at a change to how things are done. And let me tell you something. People write off real estate titles in the United States. But I want you to think about it not as something in the United States, because you're writing to the blockchain. You're talking about a certain level of standardization that's going to happen on a global scale. That's going to be crazy. That is absolutely going to be crazy. So yeah, I look at these things and I'm kind of like, how does that all work? Big boys will always be ahead of us and shape it into their favor. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. People ask me why I feel like that. All the big boys are taking up Bitcoin. What happens if you own too much of something? People just go to something else. That's what happens. Then where's the value in what you own? You know how I keep talking about we need these companies and these people to define enough? You're approaching the moment where they had their opportunity to define enough. And I think we're quickly approaching where we're going to define it for them. People out of work, right? People out of work and they can't afford to buy your stuff. So what do? They find something else that they can deal with. Look at all the wedding bands out there. Are they gold? No, they're that black thing or whatever they're putting on their fingers these days. Some people don't even care about gold from a jewelry perspective. You wind up finding an alternative, a knockoff, so to speak. So if you own too much of something, value is what people put into it, what we believe that value is. If I can never get it, it's nothing. It can only be traded by the elite. It's nothing. That's when you wind up trading in air. Just saying. You'll start to see underground things happen again. Oh, screw Bitcoin. We're gonna do Ethereum or Sui or Cardano or this or that or this or that. People aren't gonna care. Bitcoin's first. It's not the best. It's first. Think about that. Let's see. Small fraction. It doesn't matter. We are in the game. That's true. That's true. But I honestly believe that there will not be just one coin. I think that if the elites don't, hit a point, like I think they wind up hitting that point when the exchanges go, yeah, we're not doing that deal for you. You're going to have to go find it. Go source that yourself. We don't have enough to handle regular like it'll wind up getting, reined in. It's like, yeah, you thought you could. If you amass so much of something, yeah, it's not going to be worth anything. It's not. At some point, they're going to have to wake up and they'll realize that, or it'll be realized for them. Former Binance CEO, it's being rumored that he's actually going to file and ask for a pardon. Did his time, but he's going to ask for a pardon. It's for a lot of reasons. And he's probably going to get it. I wouldn't even say probably. That whole deal with that involved him, Eric, that consultation. Yeah, I'm pretty. If he files for that pardon, he's going to get it. Just remember what a pardon is. You are admitting guilt. You are admitting guilt. Just saying. So you look around and you're kind of like, ooh. Kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe Sam Bankman-Fried should be pardoned, right? It's amazing who gets pardoned and who does not. Alex Mashinsky, you think he's going to get pardoned? I don't think so. Not now. Not at this moment. I don't think he does. Not at this moment. Let's see what else. The Genius Act failed to reach closure. in the Senate by one vote, delaying stablecoin regulation through revised versions, all that good stuff. That's what's in play right now. I'll be amazed if Hutanik knows what I always say. Everybody's a rock star when the market's going up. Everybody's a rock star when the market's going up. No taxes on stock gains. Who here thinks that no taxes on stock gains is a good thing? Put it in the comments. Who here thinks that, you know what? The answer to today's question was Coinbase. We're going to do another one. Who thinks no taxes on stock gains is good? You know what? That didn't even type out. There you go. Here's a better question. Are no taxes on stock gains? No, that's a bad question. It's poorly worded. For polls, you have to word it properly. Who thinks stock no taxes on stock gains are good? The original question worked the best. Yes, no. Is there a chance for an other? No. No, we're not going to do other. It's yes or no. There's your next poll. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I do not think no taxes on stock gains are good in this country. I want you to go look up the number of people that actually own stocks, the percentage of people in this country that own stocks. Who does that benefit? Who does that benefit, and how much money will not go into the coffers of the United States if that happens? That's what I want you to think about. We can do a limit on capital gains, right? Like DMAC is saying, no more than 10%. However, before we do that, I think that we need to look at a whole bunch of things, because changing this affects that. It's like the human body. Your finger, when you move your finger, there's something going on in the rest of your body. I think it's more than that. Missouri Republican senator voted no on the Genius Act 2. Dang. Other, if inflation causes my house to double in price, I don't think I should have to pay gains because of reckless inflation. No, we're talking about stock gains. Stock gains. Specifically stocks. Not your house. Stocks. I don't disagree with you about the house thing. I have an issue with having to pay taxes on a house that's already been paid off 15 times. You know what I mean? I have an issue with that. My house is my home. Leave me alone. Charge me for the utilities that I use within the city, but or town or whatever. Don't tax my home. Nah, that's my house. That should not be something you're allowed to take away from me. And then have the audacity to sell it for $1. I'm just saying. Oh, we know that. It's sort of like nobody making under 150 should pay taxes. Stocks, yes, gains. However, it should be much less, so it promotes velocity. Velocity? No, I don't. That's not the word that I would use. I would think participation. I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have is lack of participation. That to me is kind of large. That's what I think about. So when I stop and I look at all this stuff, I kind of go, yeah, how? The devil's in the details, and people come up with these grandiose ideas, but they never come with the details. Oh, we're gonna make permanent those tax cuts. Do you really want to stop and think about that? Here's something else for you guys that I was thinking about all day. Somebody came out and they said the market is going up because of that mega tariff deal. Excuse me? Deal with the UK? That means nothing because we don't have a trade problem with the UK in actuality? Are you serious? We don't have a trade problem with the UK. They don't actually have a trade problem with us. But we're going to pump it up like it's some kind of a big deal. It was not a big deal. Everything is going up because Jay Powell did the right thing, in my humble opinion. He did the right thing, in my humble opinion. Everybody's hammering the current regime over the tariffs, even mega donors. Even his mega donors. So, yeah, the market liked what happened. There was a fear that they would lower rates. Now look at the market. Oh, now you don't have to. So imagine if they would lowered rates. Holy freaking moly. That's a no bueno situation. Lex Luthor, look at the numbers. It's not even chump change. It's not even chump change. It's not enough to call it a problem. That was a war that should never have been brought up. Yo, bro, listen, I got a little bit of a problem. Can you hook me up? Blah, blah, blah. I'll catch you on the next time. Good. Bam. That's what you do with your friends. But he treated everybody like an enemy. Treated everybody like an enemy. And now you've got the EU saying, oh, we need to move away from Visa and MasterCard because they're US owned. We need to move away from Alipay because it's Chinese owned. You don't think that's going to have an impact when they find their own things to get into? Yeah, it is going to have an impact. As if MasterCard and Visa and other credit card companies don't already have a problem because of crypto. Oops. A portion of their money gets made off of fees and a portion of the money gets made off of data. If I go into a store now and I buy it with crypto, you don't know who bought that. You don't know who I am. You know what wallet bought that. But you lose all of the demographic data that came along with it. Oh, I know who you are because you use that credit card. That credit card is tied to an address and has a name on it, and it bought these other things. We know who you are. Use a crypto wallet. I don't know who the hell you are. It's just an address. I can send a 10-year-old into the store. Boo boo. See what I'm saying? Or, hey, I'll zap you some money. Go inside and buy this for me. And you come back outside and you boop, boop. I'm just saying. So you sit back and you think about how things are being changed. Technology's changing things in a wicked fashion. Wicked fashion. The talks with China's tariff this weekend could have been a catalyst too. Saturday, they're going to decide on what they're going to talk about. And believe me, it's not just tariffs. You best believe Taiwan is a huge, huge part of that conversation. Huge. Huge. I keep telling people, we don't have a problem with China. We have a problem with ourselves. We created that. We created that. We did. Nobody can tell me otherwise and have me believe it. We created that monster. And now they've perfected the game. Remember when who was it? Panasonic had the transistor radio, and everybody wanted that transistor radio. Da 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 da. And then here comes Sony with the stereo headphones. Oof. Stereo headphones. Damn. And then the cool one was you had the cassette tape joint. Oh. Then you had the Discman. Yeah. They had invented a lot of that stuff at the same time. Yeah. They created a lot of stuff at the same time. They just released it so they can milk each piece of the technology. So China has perfected manufacturing. Bro, Lex Luthor go in the corner, man. That was rude. That was rude. Absolutely. I know I have white on my face right now, but you don't have to call it out. How about splicing the cassette tapes, putting the tape in there and splicing it yourself to get the commercials out so you could just, yeah. It was an art form if you could get it to not skip. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, I know you remember that. Figuring out at what point you get it on the head. Oh, it's right there, spliced right there. Oh yeah, no, that was a big deal. Oh, and then the Maxell tapes, you had the metal tapes and you had the fake tapes. No, it was a big deal. It was a very big deal. It's a very big deal. I was at the tail end of 8-tracks. Like they still had, those things out there, but I was at the tail end. I'm not that old, man. Dang. Whew. But yeah, what we're looking at, hold it. Tether minting a whole lot of stables. Tether minted $8 billion worth of USDT. Just a few days. 8 billion or 8 million? One of the two. Just a few days ago. Might have been 8 million. Just saying. So you're looking at a whole lot of technology that is going to be, D-Mac, man, you are so freaking rude. You take your little behind to the corner, too. Take your behind to the corner. Because I was on the AV squad when I was a kid, and we would play movies in the auditorium, and we were doing the reel-to-reels, man. Like, for real. Like, I learned how to actually thread everything. Yeah, no, I was that kid. Yeah. I've been a geek forever. Damn, y'all are rude, man. Y'all are... Wow, the level of ugliness that we're getting right now is just amazeballs. The SEC considering conditional exemption, got that one. Standard Chartered talking about, oh yeah, we said 120 before, but Q2, it's looking like more than 120 for Bitcoin. I'm just putting that out there for you, just something for you to chew on. Dubai's Emirate now accepts Bitcoin at gas stations via crypto.com. Are we paying attention to the deals that are happening right now? Crypto.com has a major deal. Kraken has a major deal out there. I'm just saying, there's some major deals out there that are happening where it's like, oh, hold on a minute. I can come over here and I can just boop that. We're not talking about small things. We're talking about huge things. Huge. Almost huger than huge. So when I look at the technology and everything that's going on right now, we need to be looking that far down the road. So many people are focused right here that they don't see what's changing down there. One of the reasons why I'm a member, or my company is a member of the Metaverse Standards Forum, is because we hear about so much technology. We rub elbows. I mean, so you have my tiny little punk company, right? Rebel Visions. Woo, Rebel Visions. You want to know who else is a part of the Metaverse Standards Forum? As a principal like us, NVIDIA, the whole slew of big players involved in that forum at the level that I'm playing the game. We're all principals. A new idea comes, we have to vote on it. I was out up late last night voting on new ideas. When I tell you that we need to be looking not just in the here and now, but we should also be looking down the road at how things can be affected, we really should be. For more reasons than one. I can put my money into cryptos. I can put my money into services that help to tokenize. Report about one this morning. There are a lot of things out there that we can be investing in. And that's why I pay attention. Send me a tape. You see that? Send me a tape. Oh. You can digitize that stuff, but you lose the upper end and the bottom end of the sound spectrum because they don't transfer well. Just saying. That's why everybody was so into tubes, because you get a more full, rich sound. But anyway, when you're looking at the technology that's out there and what can be done with that technology, it's a very big deal. I told you last night one of the biggest topics that we had was about artificial intelligence and how that could affect the metaverse. I brought up ideas. Hutanic, remember this conversation we had a while ago about how Hosky was talking about how they set up AI and they're non-player characters, NPCs, or whatever the heck they're called, because I don't do video games, whatever the heck they're called, created their own space. You're talking about things like that at that level and beyond, far beyond. What we have right now is called artificial intelligence. We don't have artificial general intelligence where it truly does think for itself. We've got a whole bunch of if-thens that talk to each other and make decisions kind of based on parameters, blah, 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 blah. High-end algorithms, in my humble opinion. Guessing at what the next word or next letter is going to be. How to do things. Is it getting better? Yes. But now we're talking about putting that technology in people's hands. Before this show, I think we started at 6:30. We added another node to our distributed artificial intelligence platform. It took us a half hour because after that I had dinner and then I started doing the show. Took us a half hour to decide what we want to do, how we want to do it, naming conventions, all that kind of stuff, so that we can add that node to our growing network. Yeah. We're talking about private artificial intelligence platforms for clients. Testing grounds. So that they know they're not sending their data someplace else, helping clients, fine-tune LLMs just for their own use. A big market is going to be companies like mine that can actually do that well. Companies that understand process engineering, process design, process optimization, that can walk into companies and go, we understand your process. Here's how we can better leverage technology. Companies like mine that can walk in the door and say, oh, this is how your people compute right now. We can consolidate that, cut down your license needs, blah, 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 blah. What we invest in, not just how we invest. When I talk about a metamorphosis from what we do now and how we do things now to how we're going to be doing things in the future, and the future is just past. We're not just talking about real world tokenization. Look at all the different companies, platforms, blockchains, everything that are in that space. If somebody asks you, what's the number one coin that there is none? There is none. The biggest, baddest, tokenization I've heard to date is 47 million automobiles in California going on the Avalanche blockchain. That was the biggest project I heard. I'm pretty sure they're bigger now. But that was just a couple of months ago. Feel me? Things are changing in major ways. And so when you do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, it's about having an understanding about what you're investing in, at what point you should invest, at what point you learn how to invest. Those are the big deals. Those are the big ones. This is why I come to you guys with all this news so that you can take a step back and kind of go, wow, we need to start connecting all these dots. These aren't necessarily standalone things. It's going to be, we did this and they did that, and now we have this stuff going on. Right in front of our faces, we saw the internet be born with HTTP. Hypertext something protocol, right? And now we have MCP for model something protocol for AI agents to talk to each other. We just saw the birth of another layer to the internet. Like I said, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J. Oh, whoa. We've had 8 people vote who thinks no taxes on stock gains are good. 50% said no, 50% said yes. Wow. Can't be mad at that. Gold-silver ratio is over 100. It should be 15-1. So silver has a long run to bring it back into the ratio. That's a good point. That's something to pay attention to. When I was running my business, my favorite business, not profitable, was purchase old Nazi silver coins to melt them into bars. Oh, so much, so little time. I'm going to let that go. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, hit the like button. We need more people hitting the like button for us. We need more of you to tell people that this channel exists and the good work that we're doing in this community. And if you can, become a big bagger by going to growmybag.tv/sign-up. Why? Because every month we have a private video call just for the big baggers where we share way more information than what we even discuss here. So just saying, everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely thank you for your trust. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.